Hello, welcome to Web Design, the course offered on Kuulchat.com, an online education resource portal which is free. And if you are accessing this video on YouTube, you can visit Kuulchat.com so that you can see more of the courses they offer. And in this tutorial, I will be using the course content at Kuulchat.com, so you can as well visit the website so that you can check the course content and make reference in the video. Okay, now this week is our first week of our web design course. So my name is Godwin Ashon and I'm an instructor at Kuulchat.com. So I'll be taking you through this course. So if you go to IT courses, Information Technology, you have the web design over here. Okay, so like I told you, my name is Godwin Ashon. Is writing for this course. So this is everybody who wants to learn how to build a website. And there is no prerequisite for this course. You don't need a programming language. And what is the objective of this course? After the course, you should be able to create a basic pages and site. And you should be able to understand the elements of design with regards to the web. Then you should get the necessary functionality elements. You should master HTML, then CS and JavaScript. Then this will also be a foundation for you to take the web development course as well. That one will do programming, we'll have a login feature and the logout and other functionalities many panels has. Okay, so welcome to the course, and this is week 1. So we are going to look at the content of week 1. So week 1, we will consider what a website is, what a hosting is, then website design tools, the tools we'll be using to design our website. Then you will create your first website. Then we'll go over the basic HTML content. Then I will briefly introduce you to CSS. So we'll briefly talk about internal, external, inline styles. Then we will add a paragraph and an image to a page. And that will be for this week. Then next week we'll also look at something else. So welcome to the web design course. Okay, it's a website. If you are on, then I believe what a website is. So a website is normally the content on the internet. Every website has a domain name, which is a unique that identify them on the internet. So there cannot be a where two individuals are having the same website domain name. No, it doesn't work. So every company or every individual has its own unique website. So the whole world is only Kuulchat.com that has that domain name. It doesn't share it with any other person in this world. So if you just type Kuulchat.com in your browser, it will direct you to our website. So it's the same way. So every website should have a unique name. And like the content says, a website, not written as a website with a space, is a collection of web pages and related content that is identified by a common domain name and published on at least one web server. Okay, so if you want to have internet access, of course, there are also intranet website where an organization may have a website and a web application only within the company. So that one they will have a web server somewhere where they will host the web pages and other applications as well, so people can have access to them. But if you talk of the internet one, then it's present on the internet, and you need a public IP address which uniquely identifies where your website is located. So once the content is being fetched from that public address and is being rendered on the browser. So every website should have a domain name and a web server. And a web server, the service of providing the web server is what we call as the web hosting. So notable examples of websites are, we have wikipedia.org, we have google.com, we have Amazon, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Kuulchat.com, we have Kuulchatmedia.com, and so on. So mostly people use www. Then they mention their website because people are used to the idea that www is for website. So if people are mentioning their website, they normally add the www, which means World Wide Web. So in the whole world, then there is a web for it, which people can access to it wherever you are. So there are a number of websites for different purposes. It could be news, it could be education, it could be comments like online shop and the rest. It could be also for social networking. Then we also have the hyperlinking between web pages, which is a link when someone clicks, then it moves to another page. And we also have a navigation on, like for instance, on this top of this website, there are navigations menu. You can just browse, you move to wherever you want to move to. So those may call them as navigation. And the first page you meet when you visit a website is being referred to as the home page. So the home page of Kuulchat.com is the page I went to before I came to this course. So the home page of Kuulchat.com is this interface. So the first page you meet when you visit a website is referred to as the home page. So if you visit Kuulchat.com, the first page you see is referred to as the home page. Most often, most home pages are defined as index. So you may have index.html, then you may also have index.php. So when you visit the website, that web page will not be shown in the web browser, but that then normally to fetch the index content and display to you on the website. Okay, so let's continue. So a domain name, like I've said, is a unique identification that defines on the internet. Then most domain name have the extension .com, .org, .net. Some also have the extension with their country abbreviation. For example, in Ghana we have .gh. In Finland, they have .i. In US, they have .us. Then we also have .eu for the EU countries as well. And we have .org for charity organizations. So there are a number of them. So those things you have on the when you type in your address is what we call the domain name. And like I've said, domain names are supposed to be unique. Then we have the IP address, which is a public IP address. So every domain name is accompanied by a public IP address. Now, is there a public IP address that identifies where those web pages could be accessed? Now, we use a domain name because it's easy to run a public IP address. So if you know the public IP address of a website, most often when you use that public IP address, it will fetch you the website content. So the domain name is just a cover up so that it could make it easy for people to remember than typing in the IP address of the web page. That would be more difficult for people to type. But domain name is like a plain text that people can easily remember and type in the browser. Now, a domain name price ranges from $15 to $25 per year. So every year you need to pay that amount. Those who can afford, they can buy for a number of years. Once it's due, then they renew it. Now, you can visit a number of domain registration companies and you can buy the domain name for your business. Then we also have the web hosting where we put our pages. So where if you want to have internet presence, you create your web page, then you need to put it on a web server so that people can access it globally. And the service provider is what we call the web hosting. So you need to contact a web hosting company so that you buy their space on their server for you to put your web pages there. Now, if you need a web hosting, you can also contact a company at web, Kuulchat Media. Kuulchat Media. So if you go to kuulchatmedia.com, their contact is there. You can contact them so that they can provide you with affordable hosting service. Okay, so now by now you should be able to know what a website is. You should be able to know what a domain name is. But if you are in the web design business, these are certain terms you should know. So before when a customer comes to you, you have to ask the customer what kind of domain name do you like. So maybe most often they'll mention their company name. So you have to check if their domain name is available or not. Now to check if their domain name is available or not, you can use certain domain name registration company website to check if they are available or not. For example, we have GoDaddy.com. They are domain name registered. GoDaddy.com. They register. So if you visit GoDaddy.com, you can search the name of the domain you want to have. Check if it is or not. If it is available, you'll be told. If not, then you'll also be informed that the domain name you search is not available. So let's say, for example, you want to search if kwamenkrumah.com is available. So Kwame Nkrumah is Nkrumah.com. Okay. So let's search if it's available. Okay, so that is the Go website. So you just type in the name of that check if it's available, and you click on the search domain to give you the results whether the domain name is available or not. If it's available, it will give you the option to buy it. To purchase, you need your Visa card and your MasterCard. So if you don't have those, you can contact a company that can buy it for you. If Kuulchat Media to provide those services as well, so you can contact them. Okay, so kwamenkrumah.com is taken. Surprisingly, who bought this name? Okay, so I think sometimes there are people that deals in this business. They will check and see if a domain name will have a high listen, price for people to purchase. Most often, if a company is as a big company that has not registered their domain name yet, people buy the domain name so that when they are in need of it, they can sell it to them. So I think this name has been bought by somebody who is selling it at $69.99. So if you really need this domain name, then you can visit the person and buy it. Okay, and most of them provide alternatives. Like we have Kwame with a dash Nkrumah.com. So there are a number of them. Then you can also, if your extension .com is not available, you can also use the other extension if your client or you are okay with the other extension. So you can try, let's say for example, kwamekrumah.net or .org. So you can try other extension too and see if they are available. So if your client or you yourself you are okay with the other extension, then you can purchase that one. Okay. Okay, so that one is available. So it is sold as $14.99. So if you are interested, you can just add to cart, then purchase it. Okay, so that's GoDaddy.com. There are other domain name registration companies you can also look at. But if you are trying other domain name services, also use the GoDaddy to check. Then when it's available, then you can go to wherever you want to purchase, and you can make arrangement for the purchase. So it's also by year, like I told you, that it's annual. Both the hosting and the domain name are by annual renewal. So one year it expires, then you have to renew it. Okay, so that's actual business. So web design tools. What tools do we use to design website? And there are a number of tools like Dreamweaver and other tools, but those ones are drag and drop. Those ones are easy. When you are using those tools, you don't understand the concept of what is going on. So most cases, when you get a company that wants you to design to their taste, you find it difficult. So we will go from scratch, so that will give you all the basic and the fundamental that you can build your entire website from scratch. So irrespective of what kind of website a client needs, you'll be able to design it, since you can start from scratch from just the basic roots and design the way you want it, not like how somebody has done it. So most people that they say they are in the web side business, they just go and search for a template and make changes to it. Now, when a client says, "I don't want it this way, I want it that way," then they find it difficult, so they lose the contract. So it's important for you to know the foundations, the basic, so you can design a website to your own taste, the way you feel, the way you want it. So in this course, we'll be using Notepad++. So that's where we'll be typing our code. Then we'll just run it. Now a website, from now we are not working on the web server. So the website we'll be creating, we'll test it on our browser. So after we design the website, you can just test it on any web browser and you can see the outcome. And it's going to be fun because you see what you do. The only problem is that sometimes you may miss certain syntax and you may get an error, but you have to figure out where the problem is coming from. Okay, so now let's get started. You will need a Notepad++. So you need to install it. So to install it, you will have to visit this, the link is over there, notepad++.org. So you can right click on the lesson material, then you will click. Okay, so when you get, there is a download button. To have the download button, you can download the material from. Okay, so that's the home page. Okay, the home page. So you can click on load. So choose any of the mirror that you want to download. So any of them is okay. So let's use this one. So let's download that. Okay, so once your installation is your download is complete, you just double click on it. Okay, so you just double, and when you double click on it, the installation will be follow the step to install. Okay, still loading. Okay, so as the installation is loading, then go back to our page. When it comes in, so we're using the Notepad plus as our editor. We type our code there, then we run it in our web browser. Okay. So create first website. So many website projects have these folders in the project folder. So if you have a project you are building, then you need to have this basic project folder. You need to have a folder by name images where you'll be saving your image files inside it. So the images you'll be using on your website, you save it in the images folder. Then we have the CSS. So this is to store the style sheet. So the style is what controls the looks of your website. We'll talk about it briefly in this week. Then subsequent weeks we'll talk about. Okay. So you can just click on yes to start the installation. Okay. Then next. Then agree. Then next. Then next. And if you want to create a desktop icon, you can click on now to install. Okay, so when it's finished, just click finish. Okay, so that's where we'll be typing our website codes. Okay, so images folder. Okay, so that's our Notepad plus plus. So we'll create our first website here and our subsequent website. So you will need a folder we call CSS, like you can see in this folder. We have CSS, we have images, we have JS. Then these are default website pages. We have about, then we have contact, then we have the index. Like I told you, the index is the first page, the front page, the home page that you see when you visit a website. So you have to save your first page or your home page as index.html, or if you also want to add some PHP coding, which we'll talk about it briefly when we get to contact us feature design. But more details will be in a web development course. So we have index, it can be index.html or index.php. Then you can have a page like services. Okay, so these are the basic elements or content of a web page. There will be a CSS folder where we'll be storing our style sheet inside. Then there will be an images folder where we put all our images inside. Then there will be a JS, or it means JavaScript. In the JS, we'll be saving our JavaScript inside. Later on the course, you know what JavaScript is all about. Okay, then we'll have about pages where we put about S inside. Then we have contact where we have the contact S inside. Then we have index where we have our first home page. When a person visits, it sees their first page. Then we have services where we put the services the company does inside it. So in order for you to fully benefit from this course, I recommend that you save your project based on the number of weeks we are considering. So for example, this is week 1, so you can save a folder by name week 1 in the main folder web design course or however you save it, but in each of the week you save a folder, then you put the example there so that when you are doing a project and you need to make reference, it will be easy for you. If you visit Kuulchat.com, or you know that, oh, this topic was taught in week 2. So if you go to week 2 folder, then there are those examples you were trying on are there, so you can easily get access to them. Okay, so in our files we'll be creating, they will have the extension .html. So except when you get to the PHP script writing, that will save it as .php. But most of the files we'll be writing in these examples from week 1 to week 7, they will all be .html. So if you are saving a file, for example, the index file for the home page is supposed to be index.html. Okay. Then we'll test our applications on web browser. So when we design our website, we just open it in any web browser. Now, if you create the file .index.html, there, like you can see in the example I showed you, this one, you see that Chrome, Opera Mini, it's on it because that's the default browser on my computer. So when you save it.html, it will show the default browser. So when you just double click it, it will open that default browser. But if you want to try it in any other browser, then you can right click that folder, then you select open with, then choose the browser you want to open. Now, when we on the further weeks, I will recommend we use Mozilla because you can use the Mozilla for debugging to check what is happening, or you can use it to correct the interface. And once you are satisfied with it, then you can go to your code and make the modification. So on the later part, you will use most often use Mozilla so that you can just do modification on the browser, and then when we are satisfied, then we will modify it in our code. Okay. So now, to start a new project, you can either press Ctrl plus N, or you go to File on the Notepad plus plus, then you select New. Okay. So this is the Notepad plus plus. So you can press your Ctrl and the N at the same time. So that one it will open a new project. So like say anytime you press Ctrl N, it opens a new project. So these are new projects. So by default, it will save the project by the number of times you have. So you see this one is new 1, new 2, new 3, new 4. Okay. So now if you haven't typed anything yet, now if you want to save it, you have to press Ctrl Alt S, or you go to File, then Save As. So like it has even written a shortcut there. So you go to Save As, then you can save your file. So I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to call week 1. Okay. So I'm going to call it week 1. So week underscore 1. So in these examples will be practicing. You are going to have it. I will save them in the week 1 folder. Okay. And like I said, we have the basic folders in a web project, so you can create your basic folders. So we have images. So you create your images. Okay. Then we have our CSS folder where we'll be saving our CSS inside. Okay. We have our CSS. Okay, where we're saving our star sheets inside. Then we have our JS, our JavaScript. We receive our JavaScript inside. Okay. So now these are the basic folders you can have in your web design projects. So when you create a folder, inside the folders, then you can create these folders inside that folder. Okay, so like I said, our first page is index.html. For now, when you go to PHP, you can name it index.php. But now we want to test it on the web browser, so we need to save it as index.html. So we are going to save our index file in this folder. So like I said, to start a new project, just Control N or file then new. Okay, now once you've opened a new, you need to save it. So you can go to either file then save as, or Control Alt S. So Control Alt S. Okay, so now it will open the dialog. It will open dialog box for you. So you have to browse to where you want to save your project. Okay, so okay, so you browse to where you want to save your project. Okay. Okay, so this was the folder I named. So I'll open it. So that where this is where I'll be saving my file. So I'm going to name it index.html. Then I save it. Now, if Notepad++ one, so you save it as index.html, it will recognize it. If you are using other editors, then you may have to select this one to all, or you select the type of file it is. So you just click on save. Okay. So now this is where we'll be writing our code for our website. So we are now going to learn from scratch some of the basic elements in web design. Then we apply those knowledge to build your beautiful website. Okay, so we continue with the lectures. Okay, so we've talked about all these ones. Okay, okay. Now this is the basic HTML element in all projects. So you can have a page you can call as skeleton, where you can copy and paste this basic HTML code. So anytime you want to start a new page, you can just copy and paste this one there, then you can do modification from there. So all HTML has this content. So we have the HTML. Now in the HTML, any tag you open, the tag is a name between the greater than and the less than. The less than and the greater than. So the name between them are called tags or elements. So we have the HTML element or tag. So we have the less than, the HTML inside, then the greater than. Now anytime you open an element, we need to close it. So like we open here, then we close it. Now the top one, we have some element that contains other elements. So here I can refer to them as a mother element. So the mother element of all the elements of your page is the HTML. So all other elements comes between this HTML. So now, in order for you to understand your code, it is better that the children, you put a space, a tab, you just press the tab key so that there will be a space for a child in the mother, so that you know that, oh, this child is in this. So this is a child, this is the mother. So when you are reading your code, it will make it easy for you to understand, and that will also make it more comfortable and enjoy your work. If there is an error, you can easily figure it out because you can easily read out your code. Okay, so now we have the HTML, which is the mother tag. So we open it, then we close it here. And the HTML has also two children. It has two main children. So the two main children, we have the head. The head is one child. Then we have the body, also another child. So you see that when we open the head, we also close it over here. Okay. Now when we open the body tag, we also close it over here. Okay. Now the head also have other children inside it. Okay, so we also need to leave a space or a tab key so that you know which one is the mother and which one is the child. Okay, so in the head, the children are title. Now, what is a title? Then a title is what we give to a website when someone is browsing the website. The text you see at the here, see where the mouse is. Like this one, Kuulchat web design for free. So this is the title on Kuulchat.com, their page on the web design course, the course we are now. The page, their title is Kuulchat Learn Web Design for Free. The Notepad, their title is Notepad++ 7.89 Stand with Hong Kong Notepad++. Then here to online education resource. Then here to GoDaddy domain name search. Now Facebook will have Facebook also as its title. Google will have it. So the text you see in the tab browsers is what we call the title. So based on the website you are designing and the text you type over here. Okay. So if this is your first page, you can type my first website. So any text you put here is what comes here over here. Okay. So now from this week when you are practicing, you should be able to put a tire at the top. So the text, you have to place it between the title and tag. The title is on the head. So you don't have to do true and poor. You have to know the concept, because if you are starting a new project, you can easily copy and go and paste this one. Then you can start to do your changes there. Okay. So in programming or in this, don't do true and poor. Just understand the concept, and your life will be easy for you. Okay, so the title is the text that comes here. It shows at the top tab, the browser at the browser. Then we have the icon. The icon is the small image you see on the beside the title to differentiate one page from the other. So for Kuulchat, if you see their logo, the blue chart with K inside is their icon. Okay, and the GoDaddy too, that's their icon. Okay, so the icon you specify that is a link with which the type is icon. So the rest the type which is an icon. Now with this code you have to specify where the icon can be located. Okay, so the icon says that when you go to the images folder in your project, the images folder, you see an image for logo.png. So the logo.png is the icon. Okay, so you make sure that this icon image is in that folder. Then we have the viewport, and the viewport with device initial scale of 1. Now this viewport is to make the website mobile friendly, so that it appears zoom on the mobile browser, so that it doesn't appear smaller. So this we also need. We will later on come to how to design a responsive website, and when we get there, this part will be very important. So I hope you remember when we get to that weekend, we are referring to it. Okay. Now the description is the description of your website. Now this also helps in search engine optimization, so that if somebody is looking for a web content that relate to yours, most of the search engines will be fetching this description content so that they can match it to your website. So that if somebody search for some keywords, they will check on their database what description matches that and show the result to the user. So you, the web designer, based on the project you are working on, then you write the description over here. So you write the description here so that the search engines will be able to see or match you to your website. So most people use certain keywords in order that people may be searching on the internet. For example, they they may write if they may write their country where they are coming from. Then, for example, if it's a university, they may write Ghana's #1 educational institution. So that if somebody is searching Ghana's #1 educational institution, they will match it to their website. So you, the web designer, you should know the possible things that people will be searching for. Then you write it in the description so that it will match with your website to show it as a result in the search. Then the same with the keywords. So certain keywords that are associated with your website too, you should also write them so that when the people also search, they can also match it to your website. So the description and the keywords are for search engine optimization. So if you want your clients for their website to be present on the internet just a short time when they are launched on the internet, then you need to use these features well, the description and the keywords, so that once people are visiting their website and the search engines are also visiting their website, they can be storing those descriptions on their database. So that if people go to their search engines and they type those information there, it will match it to their website. So for example, if you go to google.com and you type Kuulchat, how do you think they are able to know or associate Kuulchat with the Kuulchat.com? So it's through the description, and also some of them crawl the pages and get the content of the page it on their database. But most of the search engines use the description and the keywords so that when it types something here that relates to your website, it will show. Type Kuulchat, of course, because it's a domain name, we are the only one that has that domain name. So you will have a number of results. But when you search, the Kuulchat will come. So the description, the keywords is search engine optimization, so that when somebody search for something, it will match to your website. So remember to use these features. Then we have the star sheet. Like I said, star sheet is the looks of the website. So we have two star sheets or three star sheet types. So we have the external one where we have the the you have to show the path where the star sheet is. So on the ref, you have to show the folder where you can find the file. So yeah, that's why I said in most website projects you need a CSS folder. So in the CSS folder there is a file called star.css, and that is where the star sheets are being placed on that page. So when this page loads, it's going to fetch those star sheets so that it can apply it to the content of your page. Okay, then we also have this star sheet internal one. So this one you declare it's only available on this page, but this external one you can refer to it on many pages. The advantages or the advantage of the external one over the internal one is that for the internal one, if you have it on 10 pages and there is a change you have to do, then you have to do all the changes on the 10 pages. But with the external one, since all the pages are referring to it, when you go to that file and you make the change, it will reflect on all the 10 pages. So it reduces your stress that you have to go through when there is a need for you to make changes. Okay, so the external one, the internal one, you can only use it if the change is only concerning a particular page that will not cut across the other pages. Then of course you can use this internal one. But in our practice, we will just use the internal one. But in the actual project, we use the external one. When you get to CSS, then you can start to use the external one for you to have a feel of how you can go to the start sheet to make the change. Then you can refresh your page, then you can see the change being reflected. Okay. Then we also have the JavaScript. So JavaScript also you write it here, then you specify the JavaScript path. So here it means that we have jQuery.js in the folder the JS. So that's why you need this folder JS, CSS, then the images in your project where you'll be putting these files inside. Okay. So in the project, if you have, just copy and paste this here. So for your own good, you can copy this, create a folder you call it skeleton.html where you So you can create a new file. We say Control N for new file, then paste it here. Okay, then save it as skeleton.html. So anytime, so we say save as is Control Alt S. Okay, so you can save it as skeleton.html. So anytime you are about to do a project, then you can just use it. Okay, so the meta and the name are not together. So you have meta name. Okay, so okay, okay. So let me style it nicely because the page made it a little bit. Okay, so you can see the changes I'm making. So when you also copy yours, you can make the same changes. And like I told you, you have to make your code very neat so that it will be easy for you to make modification and also understand your code. If you don't make it nicely, the code that you write, some days or months later, you will not even understand your own code. So you make sure. Okay, so this, okay, so that's it. Then we have the internal one here. Okay, 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 okay. And the head is here, and the body is here, and the body is here. Okay. So this is how your skeleton should look like. So the title, you only change the title based on the website you are designing. Then you put in the content. So you can create a skeleton.html. You know it is in week 1. So anytime you are creating a new page, you can just go there, copy, then you paste, then you do the modification. So like I told you, programming, you don't do chew and pour. You should know the concept and you should know how you apply the concept. You don't have to chew all this code. No, it doesn't work that way. Know the concept and apply the concept. When you see the code, you can modify it. Okay, so you have skeleton.html on your um, computer. Anytime you want to design a page, you can just copy and paste it there. Then you can do the modification from there. Okay, so now we continue. So this is how your skeleton.html, which is a basic HTML element, should look like in your lesson. You can see that I've styled it very, I made everything very nice. So you should also do it the same thing. The neat code is very important. So you don't stress yourself trying to figure out where your error might come from. If the code is neat, you can easily identify your errors. Okay, so that is the page our skeleton.html. So we continue the notes. Okay, so this one explains, I've explained. So we have the mother, you have to close it. You have the child, you have to close it. Then the overall mother is the HTML. Then the HTML has the children head and the body. So when you open the head, you have to close it. When you open the body, you have to close it. The head also have a title, which is the text that shows at the top of the tab of your browser. So here, example, if at the point where the picture was taken, there is alert of it. So Facebook add the alerts in the title plus their name. That's what we are seeing. So in this example, what do you think will be the title in their page? So you can guess if you understood. What about this Kuulchat Media? What do you think will be their title? What about Kupe? What do you think will be their title? Okay, so if your answers are any of these, then so Kuulchat Media, the title is just going to be Kuulchat Media because that's the text you are seeing. Kupe too, the title is going to be Kupe. That's the text you are seeing. Then we have the link tag. So the link tag We have for the images for the icon. So you have an icon, the ref is an icon. So the type is image like PNG. So the icon size is 192 by this, and the ref is where you can find it. So it's in the images folder. So if you go to your images folder, you need to have this logo.png there. So whatever logo you have. Okay, so for demonstration sake, I can save that of Kuulchat logo. Okay, I think I don't have blue logo. So if you do it, but let's try their white. Let me check. Okay, here too. Okay, so let's save the white for now. So in your personal project, you can have your own logo. Okay, so in your project, you can copy it there, but you can easily go straight there. Okay, so in the images, you can have this one as our logo. So logo.png. Okay, so if the website you get into, you put their logo there. So, and remember, the file extension is very important. If the logo is PNG, then here it's going to be logo. So later on, you see that you have to check the extension of your image and add it to your path. Okay, so that's it. Then the star sheet to receive the file in your CSS. The file name is going to be star.css, or you can give it a different name, but the extension is supposed to be .css. So the name of the file, but most often it's being named as star.css. So most pages, if you master HTML a little bit and you want to play with web pages, you can download a template. So most templates you download, their start sheet may be star.css, and it can be found in the CSS folder. So when you go to the CSS folder, you see star.css. So that's where they put their looks code on their website. Okay, so we have the meta one is for search engine optimization. I've explained already. And the viewport one is for to zoom your page, and this will be handy when we come to our responsive design, so that people who are using our mobile website, we will give them a different look of the same web page. I will make it look different than somebody using a desktop, so that our website will be mobile friendly. Okay, we've talked about the description, and it says it's supposed to be 160 character for optimization. And we talk about the keywords, then about the start tag, we've talked about the script tag. Okay, so now we're on the body tag. So the body tag is where the actual look of your website. So the body tag from here, this part, this is head. So from here to the bottom, all the things you see have been placed in the body tag. So the body tag is the actual look of your website. So the look, the text you want to display on the website, it should be in the body tag. The image you want to display on the website is supposed to be in the body and tag. So all your coding elements, based on what you are doing, you need to put them in your body tag. Okay. So now in this week, this project, we are going to include an image in the project, and you write a paragraph in it. Then we'll give the image a background of green. So our page is going to be something like this. So that will be your first page we designed for this week. So as time goes on, you do more elements, then you can, after by the end of the course, you can have all the complete features of your website, and you can build many beautiful, wonderful websites. Okay, so now it says create a file and name it index.html in your week one folder. We've done that already. Then add images in the images folder. Okay, so let me get an image and put it there. Okay, so I'm going to put an image I have here. It's an image of me when I was young. So I'll put it here. Okay, so I'll put it in the images folder here. In addition to the logo icon here. Okay, and the name is God. Okay, now take a note of the extension. To check if it's Godwin.png or Godwin.jpg or Godwin.gif or Godwin.jpg. Now you have to right click it. Now most pages you get from WhatsApp are named JPEG. So if you make it JPG, then your this will not recognize it because the extension is very important. So you have to right click on the image. Then you go to properties. Now in the properties, you can see the name here, the type of file. You see the dot. So the extension is a dot. So then after the dot is the extension. So you can add the name is here. So your file is going to be the name of the file. So Godwin.jpg. So if .png is here, it's going to be Godwin.png and so on. Okay, so that's it. So I have my image here. I have my logo here. If I want to add the logo to my website too, I can include it as well. When we do how to add an image, you can make it more fun. Even though this the image is not on the complete content or the course content, I can also add it so that we can have a feel of it. Okay, so now we have images there. Okay, so we've created our skeleton, which will be our basic one. So you say copy the content of the skeleton. So our skeleton page, we can copy it here and paste it in our index where we'll be doing our changes there. Okay, okay. So now we've done that. Now we can give our page a title. So I'm going to write something brief about myself. So I can write welcome to Word Actions page. Okay, okay. So this is the title that will show in the browser if I run my lesson. So if I, like I told you, if you name it .html, it will get the extension of, it will use the browser that is your default one. Here the default of mine is Opera. So I can right click it if I want to use Mozilla. So I can right click it and I can open it with Mozilla. Okay. So I open it with Mozilla. Now I open it with Mozilla so that I can introduce you to the debugging feature of Mozilla. So you can also be playing with it so that you don't need to necessarily go to your code and do changes. You can do changes on the Mozilla Firefox and have a feel of how it looks. Okay. So now that my page loaded. So where do you think I'm going to see the title? I've already explained, so you should know. So when your page load, you should know that your title is supposed to come here. Okay. So wait while our page loads. It's taking a lot of time. It's loading. For now, let me move. I don't know why it's more than taking longer time. Okay, so that's a pro. So you can see the title over here. So the title I put in a page is what we are saying over here. So welcome to Assurance page. So that's the title I put in the code over there. Okay. Now the logo is also there because I saved the file logo.png. You can't see it because now it's white. But if I open a new tab here, even though it's not advisable to use a white tab because I couldn't get one of the other things. So a logo will come here if you put a logo in the icon there and you specify the name of your logo. Okay, so we continue with our page. Okay, so now paragraph. Now to add a paragraph to the page, we use a p element. Like I told you, an element is the one that has less than, then the name of the element inside, then greater than closes it. Then each element to open, like I told you, you need to close it. So the paragraph element or tag, we use a p for paragraph. So you have less than p, then greater than p. Then your text for your paragraph comes inside this. Like I told you, when you open an element, you need to close it. So we open our paragraph, we type in our text, then we close it with our uh, less than slash p. So the closing is just the slash of the element tag. So you just put slash, then the name of the this in there, like it is there. Okay. So now that's how we write our paragraph. So now I'll go into my body. Like I told you, the body is where the looks or that's what shows in the interface, the looks of your website. So I'm going to write some few text in the body concerning me, my name. So my name is Robin Asham. I am a Ghanaian. I am an instructor at Kuulchat.com. My hometown is Station in the Greater Accra region. Okay, then full stop. So this is something brief about me. I haven't added a picture yet because we haven't learned how to add a picture. For now, we are only concentrating on how to add a paragraph. Okay, so whatever you put between the paragraph tag is what will be displayed. So all the text we are seeing between the paragraph tag is what you see them on the screen. So I have it here and I have it here. Okay, so when you've already opened your page, you just refresh it, then you can see the new change. And the refresh icon is over here. So you just click on refresh, then you can see the new change you've done. So the refresh is over here. So all you have to do is to double click on it, then to refresh the page. Okay, so you can see that the paragraphs are entered. They are now showing over here. So any text you enter within the paragraphs, you will see them one like the same way we write paragraphs. The first paragraph will be on top, the second paragraph, the third paragraph, and so on. Now, if you don't put them in the paragraph, then they will all be in one line because you are not separating them in paragraphs. They will all be just one text online. Okay, so that's why you need to use a paragraph, so that the next paragraph will be on the next line, the next paragraph will be on, and then it follows in that order. Okay, so now let's add our image to, so now to add an image we use the img tag. Okay, so if you are over here, it shows, so that's the refresh tag. So to add an image we use the img tag, and the img, you need to show where the image can be found, and that's one we call src, in the short of a source. So you have to show the path, the directory where you can find the image. So that's why we created the folder images, so that our images files will all go there. So when we are writing the image path, it's just going to be images, then slash the name of our image. Okay, now we also saw that you can right click on the image, then you can check the property of the image to know what kind of picture it is, whether it is JPG, PNG, or GIF, or what kind of image it is. So if you go project under images, if you have an image that you put under images, okay, so you can just right click on the image, then you click on properties, like I've already explained. Okay, so now if the extension is over here, you see, and the name of the image is here. So this file will be godwin.jpg. So the same way when you put your image in the images folder, you can check the name of the image and the extension of the image. So you just add the extension to the image name, then you get a full image file. So the path will be the images, which is the folder, then the name of the file. Okay, now we go back to our page. So that's, so a tag, an image tag is img, then the source is the path. So if your file is in the images folder, it's going to be images slash the name of your file and with its extension. Then the width is the width of your image. Now if you don't specify width, the browser will take the entire width of the image. Okay, now if the image is huge, it will can take a huge space, so you need to specify the width of your image. Now width are specified in pixels, so if you write it without a pixel in the image, it will be seen as a pixel. So for example, if I write this, my image is godwin.jpg, like you saw, and it is in the images folder. So if I write P in the, I put my image in a paragraph and I write P img, then there is a space here, then src source images slash godwin.jpg, and I give it a width of 200, then it will have a width of 100 pixels. Of course, you can also have the width in percentages. If the width is in percentage, it takes the percent in relation with the screen size. So the bigger the screen size, the bigger the width, the smaller the screen size, the smaller the width, based on the percentage. Okay, so now let's add an image to our page that we design. So here I can add my image in the paragraph. So img tag space src, and the path of my image is images slash godwin dot jpg. Then I give my image a width of 200. Okay, then I can close my image tag, then P. Okay, now image tag, you close it here because we don't have anything between. You can also write it this way, slash img. Okay, like we said, if you close it this way, but because we don't have anything between the tag, so it's not necessary to do it this way. So you can just close it just here. Okay, so you don't need this one because we don't have anything between that tag. So now I save, now I go and refresh my page. Then remember, if this path is incorrect, if you don't have a file in this images folder, you will not see the image. It will give a rectangle box with nothing inside, just to tell you that there's supposed to be an image over there. So the path is very important. So remember the path. So if you put your images in the folder, in the images folder, it will be images slash the name of your folder.
to know the extension of the folder, just right click it and select properties. Then under the type, you see the dot. So the dot is the extension. So you just add the dot with its extension to the name. Okay, so now I refresh my page, then you can see that the image is over here. Now I can change the width to any other width. Let me make it 400. Then I refresh. Okay, so you can see that the width has changed. Now let's do it in terms of percentages. If I make it 100%, it will take the entire width of the screen. Now the advantage of making a width a percentage is that it takes that one is relation the screen, so it's adjustable. The bigger if the screen is smaller, then the width will also and the image will also be smaller. But if you make it in terms of pixels, then it doesn't take into consideration your screen. Okay, so like this one, if we reduce it, you can see that the image is reducing because it's in relation to our screen. Okay, so now if I change it to maybe 50%, if I change it to 50%, it will take half of the screen. So if I refresh it, okay, so now you see where the image is. Okay, so the longer the wider the screen, then you can see that it is adjusting. The image is adjusting. The image is adjusting. Okay, so that's it. So you can write the image in terms of pixels and percentages. So in terms of, let's assume it's in pixels and it is 200 pixels. Okay, then we can refresh. Okay, so that's it for the image. Now we can see the image over here. Okay, now we continue with the slide so we know where we are now. So we've done the path of the image, the width of the image. How to check the property of the image. We've done that one. So the property, the type of file, you look for the dot, the extension, then you add the name to it, and that will be the full file name. So the folder slash the full file name, and our folder is images, so images slash the full file name. Okay, 100% takes the entire screen. Okay, so now this is an introduction to star sheet. Now we said the skeleton of our HTML, in the head there is a star sheet inside that we can use to style our page. Now a star sheet is written this way. You have the name of the element. So the name of the element, it can be P, it can be body. Okay, for now we've only seen P, then we've seen the body. Of course, we've also seen the ING, so you can also style an ING. Okay, but in this week, we don't need the styling of the ING. We only need to style the paragraph and our body. Okay, so then the element name comes here. Then you start a curly bracket. So you open a curly bracket, then you close a curly bracket. Then your attributes comes here. So attribute is a feature you want to have on that element. It comes here. Then you have the column. Then the value of the attributes comes here. Now, when you are done, you close it with a semicolon so that if you have multiples of attributes and their values, it doesn't mix with them. So you separate attributes and its value from any other ones by the semicolon. Okay. So in our style, we are going to style our background of our body to have a green background. Okay, so how do we write it? So in our style, we said the element name comes first. So our element is body, followed by a curly bracket. Then you close it with the closing curly bracket. Okay, so now is that one, I guess it's understood. Now you have to specify the attribute name. The attribute for background is either background or background color. Any of them works. So you can either write just background, okay, or background color. Any of them is the same. So if you write background, you have a column. Okay, then the value is you specify the color of the background you want. So that will be the value of the attribute. So if I want green as my value, so I just type green, and like I said, every attribute you finish, just close it with a semicolon. In case more attributes will come, then you can just write each of them and just separate it by a column, a semicolon. Okay, then you save. Okay, so now we will go back to our page, then we'll refresh our page and see if the change has taken place. So you can see that our page now has what? A background color of what? Green. So that's it. Our page has a background color of green. Okay. Now you can also realize that black doesn't look nice. Black text doesn't look nice in the green background. So we can also style our paragraph to have a white color. Okay. Now the attribute for a color is just a color. So that will be the attribute. Now which element do we want the attribute to apply to? Is the P. So in our style, our element is going to be P. Then we open a curly bracket, we close a curly bracket, and our attribute is going to be color. Then we have a semicolon, a column. Then what will be the value of our color? We said we want it to be white, so the value is going to be white. Then we close with a semicolon. Okay, so let's write it. So we have P. P is our element now. So P, we open the curly bracket. Okay, then the color is the attribute, then a column, then what's the value? We said we want it to be white, so white. Then we close a semicolon, then we save and we refresh our page to see that. Okay, so as you can see, the text are now white. Okay, so that, let's check if we are left with something to cover, but that is it for the week. So you should be able to insert an image. So you should be able to create a profile of yourself where you have an image on the page and you write some brief things about yourself. Okay, so that will be the assignment for this week. So you add an image to your page and write something brief about yourself in your page. So as each week we learn something new, then we update our page. Each week we learn something new, then we update our page. So by the end of the course, you become a professional web designer. Okay, so let's go to see if we are missing something from the course content. Okay, so I've talked about this. We've given the background a green color. We've given our paragraph also a white color. Okay, and that is our code. Okay, so that is it for this week. Okay, so thank you very much for taking this course, and I hope you enjoyed the course. If anything, you know how to contact me. Okay, this is the first week. So those of you who are here and this is your first week. Now to contact me, if you go to the home page, if you go, okay. Now if you haven't logged in already, it will tell you to log in or create an account to chat with instructor. So if you don't have an account, so you create an account, then you log in. So when you create an account, you automatically log in. Then you have to come back to this page. Then you click on chat with instructor. Once you log in, it's with instructor. So when you click on chat with instructor, you will get a chat box. Then you can send me a message, then I can reply you. So that in case you're having any challenges, then I will be able to help you to address it so that you will enjoy this course. So that's our motive, that you come, you learn something, then you can apply it. So it's not just the knowledge, you want the application of the knowledge. That's the motive why this portal was launched or open. Okay, so thank you very much. Then if you want to also buy a domain or a domain name and a hosting space so that you can start to practice your page online. So as time goes on, when you learn something new, you update your page and tell your friends to check it out so that you'll be getting the experience. So by the next 3 months, 4 months, you are a professional web designer. Then you can also contact me or Kuulchat Media to buy the domain name for you, and then we create a hosting space for you so that you can start to test your web design page online. Then you can be recommending your friends to be checking and giving you feedback. So as time goes on, you learn something new, you update the page, learn something new, you update the page, so that you can be practicing what you are learning. Okay, so if you are interested in that, you can contact me or Kuulchat Media as well. Okay, so thank you very much and have a lovely day. Bye.